Good afternoon. This is the Duke of Fremont Street in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today is Tuesday, September 7th, 2021. I'd like to welcome you to this video and welcome you to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Salute. In today's short video, I'd like to talk about what a lot of people refer to as junk silver. To me, it's not junk anymore. It's sound money. It's constitutional money. Junk silver would be a variety of issues of silver dollars, halves, quarters, and dimes that were minted by the U.S. government. The government stopped making the American silver dollar in 1935. I love these things. And then fast forward to 1964, when the 90% quarters, dimes, and halves, they stopped minting them. The silver, dimes, quarters, and halves, if you wanted to determine the value at any given time, they're traded by the face value. The face value of 10 dimes, I like the rolls incidentally, 4 quarters, or 2 halves. In other words, $1 in face value times spot on the world market times 0.715 will give you the actual silver content of that dollar that day. The quarters, dimes, and halves actually contain 0.7234 ounces of pure silver per dollar. However, for the sake of argument, we're going to call this 0.715 because in the real world, that's what you would be getting paid on. The silver dollar, on the other hand, contains slightly more silver. Each silver dollar contains 0.77344 ounces of pure silver, a little over 3/4 of an ounce. Just like with the dimes, quarters, and halves, if you wanted to determine the actual silver weight of the silver dollar, you would take the spot on the world market that day and multiply it by 0.77344, and that will give you the actual silver weight of that coin. Back in the day, we had gold coins and silver coins circulating, and that was pretty much it. And I'm going to simplify things. It's a little more complicated, this, but along came around the early 1860s, there was an event that affects us to this day. It was called the American Civil War. And we had a president, President Lincoln, and President Lincoln realized that he had to raise a standing army of over 500,000 men. Well, as a nation, we were practically broke at the time. So between Lincoln and some of his cabinet members, they came up with an idea of financing the war and paying the troops with paper currency. This was unheard of up until the time. We had our continental currency and so forth. I'm just simplifying things for the sake of argument. But our first nationwide money, per se, was the legal tender note, and they were brought out in 1861-62. This actually is one of the first examples of our money in the United States of America. It's a legal tender note, and right here it says $1, 1862 legal tender. This is where you came up with the phrase greenback. So the legal tender note was brought out early in the war to help finance. Lincoln actually, I can imagine, felt that the American public would never buy that. That they were going to give paper instead of, the metal as far as currency. Well, they've been buying it ever since. We still have money today, or currency today, circulating. In fact, it's backed by nothing ever since back in 1964. We stopped issuing. In 1971, Nixon took us off the gold and silver standards. So from that point on, our currency has been, or our money per se, our currency has been floating and backed by nothing other than mandate and decree. Just for your information, this is a nice note. This is a note from 1886, and it's a $2 note. And it's backed by silver. Right on the note, it's a $2 1886 silver certificate. It says, "This certifies that there has been deposited in the treasury 2 silver dollars." So in other words, you could go into a bank, take this note, and exchange it for 2 of these. Kind of nice. Let's move 1886. Here's a $10. This is called the Tombstone. I love the old currency. I collect that too. This is the Tombstone note. And this is good for $10 in silver. Fast forward to 1891. We have another silver certificate. This is the, this is a $20 silver certificate from 1891. So this was redeemable. This note was redeemable for 20 of these silver dollars, a whole roll. You could turn this in for one of these. Not a bad deal. Oh, while we're at it, we had gold certificates. Perfect example. Our currency, they didn't think the American public would just buy this paper concept. So they literally used these as somewhat promissory notes to exchange these pieces of paper. This, for example, is a $20 note. Now this is from 1882, and it will give the bearer on demand a $20 gold piece. That's what this is from way back then. I use it for a money clip. Our money comes in handy right now for jewelry and that sort of thing. When I say money, it's still money. You can still spend this $20 gold piece. You could still spend for $20. I wouldn't advise it since it's worth, close to $2,000 at the time. One other note that I want to show. This is a 1922. This is also a gold note. So up until about 1928, we issued notes of gold, and from that point on, we went into the silver certificates. Look, incidentally, at the size of our money back then compared to our size of our money today. I don't know whether you want to call that inflation or deflation, or you call it whatever you want. These were called horse blankets, and today's money is just, the money that we're used to. Anyway, in '71, Nixon took us off the silver and gold standards. So the promises on all these notes that I just showed you, the promises have been broken. So we're on our own. That's the bad news. The good news is the silver and the gold have never, ever lost their purchasing power. I've given this illustration before that I used to take one thin dime to the store back in the 1950s and turned it in for a dozen eggs or a loaf of bread and would get change. In today's world, you can do the same thing. You can take the same silver dime and use it. It's the barterability with the silver, and use it for wealth. It is wealth. As far as silver, which I'm a silver advocate, you all know, I like it all. I like anything from 10-ounce bars, not anything bigger than 10s, because they're more manageable for me, all the way down to 1 gram pieces. But I, in particular, love this constitutional money. It's something that will never lose its value and will only gain in value. So to all you stackers out there, I want you to take a look at the constitutional money. I know you're stacking bars and you're stacking rounds and you're stacking sovereign money like the Eagles and the Maples and so forth. But to have some of this in your portfolio probably wouldn't be that bad of an idea. No one is more bewildered and befuddled and baffled by what's going on in the world today. I don't have to explain without going into hours and hours on video how the world is changing in front of our very eyes. Enough said. My personal opinion, I feel that we're moving into a new Dark Ages era, the new Dark Ages. And I hope I'm wrong, but I'm planning for that event in the event that it does happen. I think things will get a lot more medieval. The grid will go down more than likely. Ransomware will start attacking all your virtual currencies and so forth. But the tangibles, the hard assets, will be protected. One thing I might caution you, if you have something, somebody will try to take it away from you. My godfather taught me that years ago. If you have a beautiful wife, someone covets your wife. You have a girlfriend, somebody wants to make time with your girlfriend. You have money in the bank, people constantly try to figure out how to get that money from you. How about a nice job? You've got a job, somebody's always bucking for your job. So if you have these tangible assets, somebody will try to take that away from you, these assets away from you. So your best line of defense is to keep quiet about it, to keep this to yourself. And I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I believe in protecting what's mine, and this is mine. Oh, I like my bow, incidentally. That's Sterling Silver .925. I like the guy. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time today. I hope that you found this short video informative. It's strictly for your information. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't recommend that you do anything. I'm giving you an idea of what I do to preserve what little wealth I've acquired in my lifetime. In the meantime, please stay vigilant, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay wealthy. Salute. When in Vegas, give me a call. I'm easy to find. And please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. And any criticisms, comments, suggestions are always appreciated. I've put my phone number in some of the former videos, and I've gotten calls in the middle of the night from all over the world. I enjoy that. So don't worry about me. Money never sleeps. So long.